So I'm just going to say a few words about some of the resources available. I'll try and be quick, so I'm going to get through more of the questions, but Tess will then take over from me. There are 2 chapters in the new Cochrane handbook around risk of bias. Chapter 7 talks more generally about risk of bias, why we look at risk of bias, how it relates to conflicts of interest, and talks a bit about how to think about risk of bias in analyses. Whereas Chapter 8 is dedicated solely to providing an overview of the RoB2 tool for looking at a single randomized trial. And of course, as I hope you know, the handbook guidance is summarized in the methodological expectations for Cochrane intervention reviews, which I know a lot of people take a lot of notice of. I mentioned our website. This really is the best place to find information about the tool itself and updates on the various versions of it, as well as other tools that we've developed as a collaboration. It includes the most important document, which is the full guidance document. This is a lengthy document, but it is the one that tells you how to use the tool as we've intended it to be used. And we very much hope and expect that users of the tool will get themselves familiar with what's in this document. We do also have a crib sheet version that gives for people to give you a reminder of the things to think about when you're going through the tool, ideally having read the full guidance document. And it'll provide updates on the variants. So we've archived some initial versions for cluster randomizer and archive and crossover trials. And this is where you will find, as soon as we've finished them, the new tools. Just a note for Tess is going to talk shortly about implementation in Cochrane. For those involved in the pilot project, we do have interim guidance for looking at these 2 types of trial design while we're still finalizing the actual tools. And some other things, a really useful thing is we've created a Microsoft Excel implementation of RoB2. You've got Vincent Cheng to thank for writing this. It's a really nice, user-friendly system that implements all of the algorithms and has exports of all the results. And this is the single best way at the moment to implement RoB2. Just download this, put it on your machine, and read the instructions for using it. We are working really hard on an online platform to implement RoB2 in a similar way to the Excel tool. We have a full drafter. We hope to get that up once it's gone through testing later this year. We also have other tools such as the RoBViz tool that our colleague Luke has developed for illustrating risk of bias assessment and kind of traffic light plots and bar charts. These will be done by RevMan for users of RevMan, but for those of you who are not working in Cochrane, which was about 40% of the audience, I thought, this is a lovely tool for providing publication quality illustrations of the assessments across studies. And then Cochrane has developed more. There is a long-standing interactive learning model that was developed to be consistent with RoB2. And I hope very soon we'll have a set of standard author training materials that will be usable by trainers around the organization. And for people involved in the pilot, before I hand over to Tess to talk about that, there's a resource that they will be able to share with participants in a starter pack for the pilot groups.